What's up, Brian Tong here, back home from WWDC 23, and this video is going to be about all the things Apple didn't tell you about the Apple Vision Pro and the details that they revealed to me as well, because Apple hasn't given out too many specs and details at this point, but I am sure, I'm 100% positive that there's going to be something in here that you have not heard before. Now, we know what it looks like, we know what it can do, at least what Apple showed us so far, and we know the Apple Vision Pro will start at $3,499 and will be available early next year. But in all the demo videos and the floor models that we got to see, they didn't show off the overhead strap. And that is going to be crucial for the fit and feel of the Vision Pro. And I get it. It wouldn't look as nice with it on in promos. In fact, it only appears for this short moment when a dad is taking that spatial video clip of his kids. You might have even missed it that he's even wearing it, and it's there. I used it when I got my hands-on demo with it. It exists, and it felt like a material similar to the Apple Watch Ultra Alpine Loop, maybe a little thicker without all the loops on it, and it's crucial to really balance out the headset, because when I was feeling some of the weight of the headset over time, just really on the front here, they told me to tighten it to alleviate some of it. It helped a little, but I still don't know if I'd be able to get through a full movie comfortably, and this is still a pre-production model, so things can change, but without any type of battery or counterweight on the back of the headset to really keep the front from being as heavy, I just don't know how much of a difference there's gonna end up being. So we'll just have to see how comfortable it will be for extended use. Now, my earlier reactions video, the experience is still unlike anything out there, and it will blow your mind. I still feel that way when I talk to people. I wasn't being nitpicky about the comfort during the 30 to 40 minute demo, but I know I absolutely felt the weight of the headset being more front heavy. And if we're using this as a computer or watching a movie for 2 hours, it just needs to be comfortable. Now, Apple says the Vision Pro weighs over a pound, but they wouldn't get more specific than that. Apple says that the Vision Pro is a modular design, so there will be likely strap sizes for different people. And earlier I mentioned a battery, and it's connected on that left side near the temple, and it provides roughly 2 hours of power for Vision Pro. Now, I had it resting on the couch while we were sitting during my demo. It just sat right there, and obviously I never felt it. The tethered cable never got in the way. I also got to walk around the demo room during another experience, and that's when I felt it's just a dense and heavy battery pack. It felt like it was the weight of 2 iPhones. It just felt heavier to me than a normal power bank. And I asked about the battery life, and Apple said it's over 2 hours, but it could be different depending on what you're doing in the headset, and they were gonna release those use case details at a later time. So it sounds like maybe computing versus watching a movie could give different results. I also asked about that 2 hour battery life because, look, what happens if I'm watching a movie like, let's say, Avatar: Way of Water, which is the demo that they showed to us? Well, that movie is longer than 2 hours, and I asked if there was any sort of battery reserve power in the headset on its own so that I could do maybe a quick battery swap, and Apple said no, there is not. So it will actually power down once the battery is drained or disconnected, and then when you connect a new battery, it's gonna power back up, so that would have to interrupt your movie. And obviously, that is not ideal, and some of you might not like to hear that, but that's the answer that they gave me, which tells me that this is probably something that most likely won't change, especially since they aren't answering a lot of questions until its official launch. This is one that they did. Now, also, the most common question that I got from you all was if the Apple Vision Pro will support multiple user profiles for one headset. And that's something even the iPad doesn't do after all these years. So I asked Apple exactly that, and they said that they fully anticipate that different family members want to share the headset. They mentioned the Apple Vision Pro will have different sizes for the light seal to fit different face shapes. So that's the piece that your face rests on and then is removable. And it also has Optic ID, which identifies a user with the uniqueness of their iris, and that's even different between twins. And Apple said they have nothing to announce at this time about multiple users, but it wasn't a solid no. And an answer like this and this detailed would at least indicate to me that it's a strong possibility that there could be multiple user support, which is nice, especially for that price. Now, also during our setup session, we did an entire face scan, similar to what you would do with Face ID, and you have that green ring halo around. We did an ear scan where we turned our head left and right to get a 3D scan of our ears to optimize the spatial audio experience. And then people who wear glasses, they walk through an additional experience to then get specific lenses placed into their Vision Pro. So this is really gonna be a pretty personal setup, and I just wouldn't be surprised if it was a very personal walk-in type concierge-like service when it releases. Now, I also asked what the experience is like for two people using two Vision Pros together in the same room at the same time, and they said that they have nothing to talk about at this time. So that's all your multiple user or use cases type questions I asked them, and those are the answers that I got. Now, a lot of the magic, though, really here is just using Apple's headset that comes from its eye motion tracking and then its hand gestures that are used to control it. Like, we did not get to use speech in this demo at all, and I think that many people, you're all just going to be blown away by the fact that this is something that you have never experienced with eye tracking this accurate. Like, for me, I had that same really like a magical feeling, it sounds silly, and accuracy with the PSVR 2. The setup was similar, but let's be honest, Apple's is just more elegant. And on the PlayStation, you only get to use this eye tracking feature in some game experiences, like navigating through menus on the PSVR 2 with Horizon Call the Wild, and it's just not used with their entire OS at all. It's not used in every game, so it's cool, but it's only used in some cases, like certain games. And with the Apple Vision Pro, it is front and center, and eye tracking and hand controls are used during your entire experience. Like, everything you do is with just your eyes and hands. Now, a recent Apple developer session revealed the specific hand gestures that you can use. I had a very controlled experience, right? They told us exactly what we could, and we could play around a little, but I got to use that single tap to select at what I was looking at. You could do it left or right, up or down, low, anywhere I did it, it detected it. Now, the pinch and hold move, there was like a bar on the bottom where I would pinch and hold it, and then I could push an app window further away from me. I could move it off to a side or bring it closer to me. Then you have the pinch and drag for scrolling up and down, or pinch and drag side to side on a web page for anything that was a scrollable item. And you got also the zoom by pinching and then pulling your hands, at the same time. You can see here that there's also a double tap and then a rotate for hand gestures. Now, all these gestures work together with whatever you're looking at. But what's also interesting is this developer session video where they talk about how developers can create their own custom gestures for their apps or games that then can perform other actions in games. So they can create pretty much whatever they want. They just need to be distinct from the system gestures or common hand movements. But this is going to open up a whole lot more now when you wonder, like, can I do more than these basic ones? Yeah, you can. And it's up to the developers to really unlock more of its potential. Now, you can also check out my video podcast where I had an all-star crew of tech YouTubers to hear about all of our experiences. It was just a great conversation, so check that out. But now, right, you'll also be able to enter text with the Apple Vision Pro. We didn't get to do it in the demo, but one way to do this will be with Apple's Direct Touch, and then it has its depth sensors that will give it more accuracy than other headsets. So you can see here in this virtual keyboard, as your finger hovers and gets closer to the key that you want to press, it highlights it to help you guide your finger to the target. There's a deep press animation and then also a sound effect that is spatialized based on the key's location. Now, you aren't going to be doing this all the time because your arms will probably get arm fatigue doing this. I think they call it like gorilla arms or something along those lines. But Vision OS supports pairing a Magic Keyboard that you can use on a desk surface, or you could use its voice recognition for on-device speech to text. So we'll see how this input method evolves, but in the demos, no one was able to try this. Now, I also asked Apple about the field of view for the headset and also its refresh rate. I mean, these are technical specs people want to know. Now, if you look at the field of view for most of the consumer headsets like the Quest 2, the PSVR 2, and even the Quest Pro, it ranges from around 89 degrees on the Quest 2. They don't officially state that. And then approximately 110 degrees on the PSVR 2. So the higher the number, the better, because that lets you see more of the landscape, a wider range. It just makes you feel more present and immersed. Of course, Apple would not comment, but I'm guessing based on using it for myself, it's closer to the PSVR 2's range instead of the Quest 2's, so you get a wider one. And Apple said they would reveal the refresh rate at a later time as well. But in another developer session video, it was revealed that it's also, the headset is running at 90 hertz for most content. So if you're watching 24 frames per second content, right, video, the refresh rate will automatically change to 96 hertz. Now, 96 is a multiple of 24, so each frame of the movie will be displayed for exactly 4 frames in the headset, and that reduces a video effect called judder, and you don't want that. So the Oculus Go and Quest 2, they have 72 hertz as the default because it's a multiple of 24 for this similar reason. Now, it's unclear when the 96 hertz refresh rate is triggered, but it's mostly likely a variable refresh rate overall in the headset, and we just don't know what developers have access to. Like, can they push it even higher? Or I would say, look, going to 120 hertz pro motion, I don't think that's necessarily necessary here. It would tax the battery a whole lot more, but we will wait for the official details. But at least in the developer session, it was 90 for the most part, and then 96 with 24 frames per second video, which is typically movies. Now, look, Apple made the right decision to really focus on the experience here and not get into the nitty-gritty tech specs, which, you know, they should be doing since this is their first showcase. They want us to talk about how it felt, how it was to interact with it. And look, they have a whole lot of time to say and show us more in about, what they said, early next year, 6 to 9 months, but I think it's really closer to 9 months before they release the Vision Pro to the public. And then just for those of you who are really digging for those hidden gems, in Apple's platform State of the Union session for WWDC 23, there were multiple times where a Vision Pro headset had a USB-C dongle attached to it on the right side of the headset that's opposite the tethered battery pack side. And what's tricky is that you can never really see where it goes, where it's leading to, and that led the interwebs to get to speculating, right? They want to find out what this is. But look, sorry to break it to you, the logical thinking is that the adapter connects directly to a Mac for Vision OS app development. I mean, it makes sense. So relax, everybody. I know you want every single nugget out there, so look, there you go. Okay, so if you like what you see, if you like what you heard, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell, ding, to get all my latest videos when they drop. I told you I would ask those questions. I got answers that I haven't seen anywhere else. And if you want more of that Apple goodness, you know what to do. You can also check out my weekly Apple Bits XL audio podcast to get the latest deep dive with all these stories and new ones every week with special guests. And I hope I gave you some of those new nuggets. No one's reported on them yet because that's what I do for you. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace and love.